for an exclusive performance and interview with Grant Landon
on SiriusXM's Octane.
All right.
Yeah! My finger is tired.
I was just going to mention, it looked like you were like clenching in pain, your fingers.
It was, you know, it was very painful. But last time I complained about my fingers hurting, I ended up with lawnscaping duty.
Now your back's going to hurt.
My fingers hurt.
So we're happy that you guys have this new album up. And what's interesting is, I guess, in many ways, this is like sort of a new chapter for you. And I guess we can start with you, Lee, because obviously there's a change since the last time you were around. Is you've embraced sobriety, and it's not only just a lifestyle thing, but it's also kind of part of a mentality that you talked about. You were hinting at a little bit with yourself, but also the band. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I think with the success of Onyx, you know, for me personally, it's been a long journey to get to be here, and you know, everyone's got their vices, and sometimes the alcohol thing can really get the best of you, and it was really tearing my vocal apart. And I really felt like, you know, I was being more selfish and, you know, doing a lot for me. It took a lot of years to have the success we had on Onyx, so I was doing things. Maybe people wouldn't think they were selfish, but for me, I'd have the extra drink when I had the show the next day. You know, that was a big part, so my vocal cords would get squashed, and I was really I wasn't happy about it, you know, and I wasn't living healthy. I'm an athletic guy. I wasn't doing as much golf as I should have been doing, or whatever it was. But I just felt like, you know, look, you know, Matt had been sober. I think he's actually, you know, congrats to Matt. It's almost been 2 years right now.
Congratulations.
So,
very nice.
You know,
very cool.
I don't know if it's that I will never have a drink again. I just, when I'm touring, it's not about me now. It's about the fans. And it was more of a year to just clean my system out. You know, when you've been drinking nonstop for, I don't know how long since we've been signed and whatnot, it can catch up to you, man, and it ages you. And when you tour with the likes of Judas Priest and all these legendary bands that give you stories and tell you about what they're doing and what they don't do anymore, it's sooner or later clicks like, well, if we want to be and have those kind of careers that those legends have and be around for a minute, you know, maybe we should listen to some of their advice and practice what they're preaching, you know. And it was just a big mental movement for me, you know. Same thing with the music. It's like we're so focused on our live show and trying to make it better. I mean, we don't have the dollars to get the pyro and get all the crazy things that add, you know, a little icing on the cake. So we really try to focus on the meat and potatoes with our show. It's like, you know, we didn't want to go in and do Trenches 2 and deal with the Devil 3 or Onyx 2.0. We wanted to make a record that can give our live show the energy that it needs, you know, to just really captivate an audience. And it seemed like once the five of us got together, the reality of it was we all had different ideas. And on previous records, it's all been like my ideas or this guy's ideas here, and then Nick and Chachi came into the picture. It never really felt like it was a collaborative effort. You know, it was always like we were playing catch up on old material, and I really wanted, for my own sanity, to do new, fresh stuff. So when we got together, that's why I think Up sounds the way it does. There's five guys' concepts that it wasn't like someone in this project was like, no, your ideas don't matter, or your ideas matter less. You know, like everyone was able to get their ideas out, and it made for an album that we're all proud of, and it's something that we look forward to playing. But we've actually found each other again as brothers. You know, it's like people forget it's 1% music to us, 99.9% living on the bus together with people. And you know, when you play over 250 shows a year, it's something to understand about today's rock musician. That's what life is for us. And, you know, it's not the perks that they once had, but the perk is we get to play music for a living. So if you remember that and be appreciative of that, your fans see that, and it translates to your live show, and that's something we're trying to be aware of.
Well, and you know, that's what I was going to mention, that what I think is cool about you guys, one of the many things, is that here you are, you're doing this, you've been doing it for a while, but now you're as you're talking about sobriety, and I look and see what some of you other guys are doing, like you're very unique in that you're not falling into the cliche. You know, we see how, I mean, you guys probably see it a lot more than I do, because when you're backstage and you're touring with bands, you see how they fall into the patterns of being like that guy who's developing that addiction or doing this kind of, you know, and it's very stereotypical. And so here I look around, I see, Lee, you've embraced sobriety for the good of the band, just for my voice,
for the fans. You know, I mean, I got to be be able to sing it.
Right, Chachi, you're a CrossFit guy. Like that, how many CrossFit guys are there in music? There's not a lot of them, you know what I mean? So it's like...
Getting to be more, though.
There's getting to be more, look at that. And then, Matt, you've got the nonprofit that you do stuff with, which, you know, that, a lot of times that just doesn't happen because people in bands are so kind of wrapped up in themselves often.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of distractions out there to keep you from, focusing on what you're really out there to be doing, which is, like spreading music, like spreading the message that we deliver in these songs. We spend all this time working on a record and, focusing so hard on like, okay, we've got all these people listening now. What do we want to say? What's our message going to be to the world? And then it's easy to go on tour and sort of, like let that get watered down and get distracted by one thing or another. But to stay out there and stay focused on like what your cause is, like why you're out there, why you have the fans that you do, like why it is that you do what you do. I mean, this is, everybody knows of a band, everybody can think of a band that has let those things kind of consume them and overtake them in their career, and you can watch their career change as it happens. And I think, we're all hardworking, and as long as we're out here on the road, we want to make the most of it.
Sure.
Keep our eye on the prize, so to speak.
Well, while you're talking about it, would you plug your nonprofit quickly, if you don't mind, just because we're mentioning it, and it's a really cool cause. I mean, it's a really beautiful thing.
Sure, it's an idea I thought of a few years ago, and I finally got it up and running officially this year. It's called Star Treatments, and you can find it at startreatments.org, and it's a transportation service. So for families that have kids who are sick, either with cancer, leukemia, or things of that nature, and they have to travel a long distance to go to the medical facilities, we supply them with the transportation, like a tour bus like we ride in, and we'll go pick them up at their house, take them to the hospital, and then take them back home. So what I was finding is a lot of these families, they may have insurance and things that help cover the medical bills and stuff like that, but there's so many out-of-pocket expenses for, gas, or, people taking time off of work and things like that, or not having reliable transportation, and it can really put a family under.
Yeah, well, it's really cool. I mean, I salute you for that. That's a beautiful cause. That's a great thing. So,
thanks, man.
So I think maybe since you guys have your instruments out and you're plugged in, let's do another one, right?
Let's do it.